Hi everyone, it's Kashonda here from the State Code, and I am meeting today with Myeisha Hamilton of Charlotte, North Carolina. Now, she is not your average woman, she is but a force to be reckoned with. She is an avid worker in her community and works to empower women daily within Charlotte and surrounding areas. She has currently started her own wellness company. She's an author, an influencer, a life caster, and she is also an ambassador. So today I'm going to let her tell you about her wellness company. Myeisha, can you tell us a little bit about your wellness company and what you stand for?
Yes, well first, Kashonda, I really want to thank you for having me today. But Myeisha Hamilton is a brand that focuses on wellness. I believe that wellness is a state of mind. There are things that kind of matter the most that aligns us to our purpose in life. And I feel that when our mind is right, it aligns with our heart, and then we're able to really function at our highest level of capacity.
So Myeisha, what inspired you to start your wellness company? Tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, as a person who practices mindfulness, Buddha said it best: what you think you become, what you feel you attract, and what you imagine you create. So I believe that the mind is an indicator of how we really ultimately feel about ourselves, how we portray ourselves in our lives, how we conduct situations, and how we handle people. My inspiration came at the age of 25. It's more of a personal aspect, so I'm not a professional in the mental health, but it came from a more personal space. And at the age of 25, my mother passed, and I found out by reading her journals, not by her willingly or voluntarily telling me about mental health and those type of disabilities, but found out she was diagnosed with bipolar in the 90s. And at that time, of course, in the 90s, I was around middle school age, and I was raised by my grandparents, so my mother never had that conversation with me that this is what I was diagnosed with, these are some of my issues, this is how I have to deal with them. She kind of dealt with them outside of the home. So as I became older, learning more about mental health, it made me very intrigued about what bipolar was. And growing up with my grandparents, being from Charlotte, Southern, we don't talk about mental health, you know. We always feel that mental health cannot touch our family. That's not in the Black community. And unfortunately, it is very prevalent in all communities, not only the African American, but especially. And for those that try to cover up or kind of deny or put it on the back burner, it becomes more of an issue when we don't listen to it or adhere to it immediately. So it really empowered me to learn more about the different types of mental health. How are people getting help? Do people even know that this help or these services exist? And so I just lifelong lesson of learning as a life learner, just learning as much as I can about them and being able to help individuals, even if they come and I'm not a professional, but they know I have a lot of connections. So I want to make sure that I'm well versed in any and every area, especially for services that are here in the Charlotte area.
Okay, and you speak about strong women standing up for themselves and stronger women standing up for others. What are some ways women can be better at standing up for themselves so that they can be better ready to stand up for others? Yep,
when you stand up for yourself, you take hold of every aspect of your being, from mental health, your heart health, going to your annual doctor appointments, making sure that your children are taken care of. So we take care of a lot of things in life. So when you stand up for yourself by making yourself a priority, self-care is not only lotions and body washes and soaps. It is taking care of the mind, taking care of making sure that your intentions are good, just being at peace with yourself. And when you're there, or even in the process of getting there, you're able to help other women to really say, you know what, I need to do the same exact thing. And then you can kind of school them on how you did it. You're not a pro, but you've overcome it. So when you've overcome something, you're able to help other individuals as well.
Okay, and what are some self-care examples that you've used personally that work for you to make sure you're taking care of yourself and to keep yourself refreshed?
Oh, I have my weekly therapist appointment. I see her weekly. And that's not, seeing a therapist does not mean that you're crazy or that you're part of a statistic. It's more of making sure that I'm mentally where I need to be, right, so that I can excel in all of the other aspects. I can be present in my relationships with my family, with my friends, with the organizations I'm a part of. So it's just really making sure that it keeps me on track and make sure that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing for my myself so that I can help those other individuals in my community. So definitely I speak with my therapist weekly.
Absolutely, yes. And so you have a project that came out. I want you to tell us a little bit about your book, the name of it, and what inspired you to write it, and how that can relate to self-care as well, because there are a lot of important things within your book that have to do with self-care in this situation.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit more about your book and that.
Yes, definitely. So the Glambitious Guide to Mompreneur was a collective project. So I co-authored it with over 50 other women across the world who are moms and trying to balance that mom and entrepreneur, and some even work in corporate America. So I'm not a biological mother, I am a blended mother. And that comes with a whole nother realm of aspects of just making sure that this is what I want to do. So the first year of my fiance and I dating, I took that time to really understand, make sure that he and I were right for each other. Relationships are hard, they're not easy. And then when you incorporate other people, and especially two little small ones, you really have to know that this is what you want to do. Because children, they get attached to you very, very quickly. And I wanted to make sure that he and I was right. So that first year of us dating, we really wanted to make sure that we were good for each other. And then when we were ready to incorporate the children in, then I was able to say, okay, is this really what I want to do? And I was very nervous about that, because going 32 years, no children, and then all of a sudden, now you're on play dates and you have to go to family events and you got to go to church every Sunday. Like, you feel like, man, responsibilities become a lot of things change when it comes to adding other dynamics and aspects to it. So being a corporate worker during the day, holding a high position where I have people who report to me, that's another aspect. People, we are different, you know. And so I wanted to make sure that people understood that I thought that having these kids and bringing them into my circle, that I was going to downgrade my life, and that I'm not even worthy to be a mother. Why should I take on this challenge? There were a lot of things that I was dealing with. And so I wanted everyone to know that it's not a easy path. It's not a starting out fun path, because you want to make sure that you're doing the right thing by these children. Because you are a leader. You are a role model to them. They look up to you. So I wanted to make sure that I was showing them the best version of me, but I had to be the best version of me before I can really say, do I want to incorporate these kids? So a lot of help, mental health came into me making sure that I saw my therapist, that I talked about, communicated very well with my fiance about my reservations, about my issues, what I was going through, and just making sure that he was on board with what I was going through. It wasn't easy. And it's every day, it's definitely something, and it's something that occurs now that we've been together. He and I have been together 5 years. I've been in the kids' lives for 4 years. It still is a struggle, because communication, of course, we don't have the kids all the time. So that communication is there. So he and I have to communicate to make sure we're good, so that when the kids are being involved, then we're operating as a unit, So the Glambitious Guide to Being a Mompreneur really focuses on letting everyone know that it's okay to not have it all together. It's okay to not have it all together. It's okay to be struggling with the battles of if this is right, if this is not right. It's okay. That's part of the process. You have to go through the process. You have to grow through it. So definitely, it's been a growing experience. It's been a rewarding experience. And so I've taken on responsibilities. I went to my first mother-son dance about a year or two ago, and that was really fun. Different. I don't know how to interact around mothers. I've never been a mother. Here I am, 37, and now I have this little guy and little girl who look up to me as a role model. And so I just wanted everyone to see that as a blended mom, we go through some of the same struggles as biological moms, but it's not something that you can't get through.
Absolutely.
So, yes, so that's what the project is about.
I love it. I want to thank you for coming out and talking with us today.
Yes, well, thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. And I want to thank you all for watching. Again, this is Kashonda with the Stay Code, here normalizing conversations on mental health, mental wellness, and suicide prevention. Stay tuned for our next few shows.
Bye.